Cancelled: Mastering Difficult Conversations in a Modern World by Tia Ramey. If you are interested in reading this book, you may have been a lot like me when I was much younger. I was often misunderstood, and at times, I still am when speaking. When misunderstanding occurs, I would obsess over where communication breaks down and analyze how I could have done better to get my point across. I'm not often bothered when there is a genuine disagreement. I enjoy the banter at times. What does bother me is a misunderstanding, because in my mind, I could have done better to communicate my point, but I just did not know the right language. Through this book, I hope that you gain the tools you need to communicate with all the different people in the world today. However, I'm not a linguist, so I'm not here to translate all the beautiful dialects of the world. You will find that some languages I am referring to are likely right in your home. They are in your family, or maybe your place of work. There is even a possibility that your children may be completely fluent in a language that you did not teach them. And if you are reading this book, you may be interested in learning to connect. This book is about communication. This book is not about winning debates, but winning relationships. In addition, I'm not a therapist or a psychiatrist, but you may hear a few methodologies that will help you to understand where communication breaks down and how to build it up again. I am a crisis communications professional that specializes in outreach initiatives. I have unique experience in using social media, strategy, and content marketing to support outreach initiatives for vulnerable populations. Understanding all the different voices there are in the social media world has helped me decipher the languages mentioned in the text. I have worked in the public and private sector, businesses big and small, and usually when someone calls me, there is a crisis. It does not take much for there to be a crisis these days. All you have to do is say the wrong thing and for the digital world to take hold of it and rip you apart. It will usually last up to 2 weeks if it is bad, but how you handle it means everything if you plan to reemerge from the ashes. Most of the time, leaders are not open to learning a new language until they have said something incredibly wrong that will impact their bottom line or their election results. I am hoping for those of you reading this book, knowing the language will aid in preventing the need for a crisis communications professional. Keeping in mind, communications professionals, like myself, do not support your personal issues, and the breakdown in communication may very well be happening right in your home and or your personal sphere of influence. In Chapter 1, knowing what I call the Babel effect and how it is impacting your relationships will aid in your personal and professional life. If we are not paying attention to how the science of communication is evolving, then it leaves us frustrated, alone, and very likely tormented by the idea of our dying connections. We have an entire technology-driven generation coming into the workforce communicating a different way than previous generations. If we cannot be proactive in building a bridge to better communicate with them, we lose the right to guide our youth into developing long-term strategies for success. This is not a book of translation, but you will come to understand the foundations of the languages so that you can at least begin to engage productively in some tough discussions. There are a few foundational themes these languages are built on. In this text, you will learn to identify the language, proactively listen, and effectively communicate with someone that is truly speaking a different language than yourself. Most importantly, you can earn the right to be truly heard and express your heart in a way that connects you with the people that you desire to communicate with. Everyone wants to be heard, and if we can learn to get past the initial power struggle of who is right and wrong, we can learn how to land our voice in this world and guide our connections with dynamic influence. This book will not teach you to convince people that you are right, but it is designed to help prevent misunderstandings when having a difficult conversation. Thanks to social media, difficult conversations are imposed on us every single day. In my profession, I find most people tend to agree more than they disagree, but they are simply not speaking the same language. It is not enough to simply speak the same dialect. You must learn the foundation of the language and the filters that people are using in the modern world to communicate their worldview.